Okay, so what we got is a Viltrox DC70 Mark II 4K HDMI field monitor. This is a 7-inch TFT LCD display with HD video monitoring. It has HDMI in and output. That's a loop output for you to attach another monitor or whatever. It is good for hooking up to a DSLR camera, or I could hook it up to my Zoom camera. I can monitor what I am recording while I'm recording it. It shows me whether I'm in frame or not, shows me kind of the lighting scheme. It doesn't really show you what's on the camera depending on what camera you use, but for the most part, it does not show you what is on the screen of the camera, so you can't see the histogram, you can't see if you have a crosshair or anything like that. All you see is the image that you are recording. Again, this is the Viltrox DC70 Mark II 4K HDMI monitor. This is a Zoom Q2N 4K. This camera will record 4K at 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. Has a 150-degree wide-angle lens at f2.8 at 15.2 millimeter. It does have 5 fields of view, so you can kind of zoom in 4 different times. High dynamic range, 12 preset lighting scenes that are kind of neat. Some of them not so much, but they do work. And it does have a built-in XY stereo microphone setup, and it'll record at 24 bits at 96 kilohertz. It is capable of live streaming. It will also record 1080p at 60 frames per second, 50, 30, and 25 and 24 frames per second, 720p at 30 and 25 frames per second. The field of view is a wide O-tele, and it does have a very wide angle lens. It also has a built-in low-cut filter. It does have a microphone input. You'll see how I've got mine run here in just a second. And it does have a built-in speaker also. Up next is the Tascam DR60 Mark II portable 4-channel recorder used for DSLRs, just recording out in the field, anything you want to do if you want an audio recording. It does work off of batteries and a SD memory card. This has camera output, 2 camera outputs, a low and a high end. It has headphone outputs. It has 2 XLR inputs that do have phantom power that you can supply to them. It does have monitoring of all 4 channels. You can bring the camera back in to be able to listen to what you are recording on the camera if you so desire. This is a very handy recorder. It does have standard 1/4-20 mounting screw on the bottom and on the top for mounting your camera to it. There is all kinds of things that this thing will do. You really have to get into learning how to use the different features of it in order to really take advantage of it. And next we have the Andoer professional video tripod system. This is a 67-inch professional heavy-duty aluminum tripod with detachable fluid head with a drag pan tilt head and quick release plate. Maximum weight for this tripod is 22 pounds. It will hold quite a bit, and it goes up to 67 inches, so it's about as tall as I am. I did get this on Amazon. It is kind of pricey, but this thing will hold a lot of weight. I used it as a telescope tripod, if that tells you anything. It will definitely be pretty stable for you. I love this tripod. It worked really good. It's really smooth action. The pan head is very, very fluid. I highly recommend this one. So this piece is kind of my favorite little dinky piece that most people wouldn't even think about, but this is a Neewer camera video L-shape flash bracket with dual flash cold shoe mount, and it has 1/4-inch tripod screws all over the place. It is very, very versatile and very handy to have. The way this one works is you can screw your tripod into the bottom screw on this, and then screw your camera setup onto the top screw of it, and then you've got the L bracket coming up, and you've got 2 cold shoes above there, and then also another 1/4-20 screw mount that you can use. So this is very handy. They're not that expensive. I think this was about $12 or so. Again, it's from Neewer. Very, very nice and handy thing to use. So this little piece is my DI box. It's by MonoPrice. It's a stage right DI box. Not too much to it. It has a 20 and 40 decibel pad on it. It does have a lift switch. It's a 50 ohms TRS input and output, and then a 600 ohm XLR balanced input and output. The way I use this is I go from my Tascam recorder, which is pretty much a 50 ohm resistance plug, to the camera, and I have to use this DI box because the input to the camera is a 250 minimum ohm resistance input. So the DI box, that makes it so that you get a higher resistance out of the same thing. So that means I can attenuate the sound, I can do whatever I need to, and record into the camera. That way I don't have to match, or I don't have to move the sound around all the time to get them lined up. So the next thing that's on my list is the Viltrox VL162T CR195 Plus LED video light. Now this is a battery or DC power operated camera or video light. It goes from 3300K to 5600K. It is dimmable from 20% all the way up to 100%. It has a little LED display on back. It has hot shoes or cold shoes all over, so you can mount several lights together. This does take the same battery as the Viltrox display monitor that I showed you earlier. So that's a pretty nifty little thing there, especially if you're going to use either DC power or a micro or mini USB on the monitor. This does not have a micro or mini USB port in, it just has DC power. I do also have the same model of this in the RGB, which it's not dimmable when you're in RGB mode. It is only dimmable in the white light mode, but it does have both features and you can change to multiple different shades of colors. So they're both pretty neat lights. I really like these things. They work really well. Batteries last a good long time, and they're good heavy duty batteries that take a charging pretty well, and they don't go dead very easily. So you're gonna use them for several hours before they finally go dead. Okay, and moving over to my portable computer editing suite, or set, whatever you want to call it. First off is a OneOdio, or OneOdio, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, A71 over-the-ear headset with boom microphone. This can be used as a gaming headset, as a editor headset, as a podcasting headset. It has a nice little boom microphone that is removable, which is the plug also, with the cable built onto it. The headphones are pretty comfortable. The sound is above decent, so it's not perfect, but it's good enough for a little bit of audio work in your video. So this again is a fairly inexpensive headset. It's not one of the $300 Sennheisers or anything like that. You're not going to get quite as good of audio out of it or as good of audio into it. You go into Studio One when I do my audio recording for this type of thing, when I'm not using the shotgun mics when the cameras and everything in my studio, then I will do this just sitting there editing with the video. I'm just dubbing over. This is a voiceover. So I will use this OneOdio A71 ear set and Studio One so that I can edit it and get it sounding the way I like it. This here we have a LG 29WK600W. This is a 29-inch ultra-wide HD 1080p IPS monitor with HDR10 and FreeSync. This thing, it looks really good. I have it mounted on a VIVO mount, which I will show you in a minute. It's a cart. It holds up really well on this cart. It looks really good. Again, I use this from probably around 3 feet away while I'm editing on my computer, using the cart and a little Walmart desktop thing. This looks really good. I can't beat it for doing the video editing that I'm doing. My computer handles it real well. I don't have any glitches or anything like that. It's a really crystal clear monitor, and for the price, I couldn't beat it. I really like the ultra wide. That way you can work with the timeline as wide as you want it. It makes it a lot easier to see everything that you need to see. So the next thing is the VIVO Universal Mobile TV Cart for a 23 to 55 inch LCD LED flat panel screen TVs up to 55 pounds. This is a height adjustable rolling black stand with laptop shelf, locking wheels. Max VESA, whatever you call that for the mount, is 400 by 400. This is a pretty good stand. It's got 4 wheels to it. They're not the best for rolling across cracks in the floor or anything like that, but they do okay. It is compatible with, like I said, 23 to 55 inch TVs. This is a pretty decent little cart. It is about the cheapest you can find on the market right now. I did get this from Amazon. It is perfect for mounting a computer to it permanently. I've kind of got it sandwiched. I built a little table on top, as you can see in the video, to sandwich the computer in between the 2 tables. And I use this as a mobile video editing computer system, so it works out pretty good for me. Maybe you should give it a try if you want a mobile TV, even in any of your rooms or kitchen or something like that. Okay, and last but not least is my HP Envy desktop computer with Intel Core i7-9700 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, 512 gigabyte SSD. It does have Windows 10, and it is running 8 core at 3.0 gigahertz. It does have 7200 RPM, 1 terabyte hard drive, SATA hard drive, and then the 512 gigabyte SSD. The DDR4, 16 gigabytes of 2666 RAM, upgradable to 32 gigabytes, which I will be upgrading soon. It does not have the best video card in it, so I will be upgrading that soon too. But I'm not in any big hurry because it does do everything that I need for it to do, and for the price of this computer, as compared to a MacBook Pro or even just any kind of Apple computer or anything like that, I probably saved about $2,000, and I can do pretty much the same thing. This is all I'm using it for, is a little bit of audio editing and mainly video editing. So this is a pretty good computer for that.